Hello everyone. Today we are going to read the poem Wind by Subramanya Bharati. Before the poem, let us know about the poet. Chinnaswamy Subramanya Bharati, born in 1882 and died in 1921. He was a Tamil writer, poet, journalist, a great nationalist, an outstanding freedom fighter, and a social reformer. His works kindled patriotism and nationalism during the Indian independent movement. The poet wants to bring a change in the society, and the poem is also one of his attempts to do so. Let us know about A.K. Ramanujan because the poem is originally written in Tamil and was translated into English by Ramanujan. So he was born in 1929 and died in 1993. He was a Kannada and English poet, scholar, professor, a philologist, folklorist, translator, and a playwright. He was well known for his translation of classical and modern poetry. So let us know about the poem. What is the theme of the poem? The poem is about the power of wind. Wind, it is a natural phenomenon. It can be destroyer and a creator as well. The things that are deep rooted cannot be destroyed by wind. So it is a creator for them. And when we are weak, we will be uprooted by the wind. So the wind works as a destroyer and a creator. The second theme that we note in this poem is that the challenges and hardships in our life and the challenges and hardships in our life can make or mar us, can make us. If we face the challenges strongly, we will be a winner. And if we cannot face that challenge, we will be destroyed. So, the poem is about wind, who is a creator and a destroyer, and it can also be said that the poem is about those challenges, hardships that can make ourselves. Now, what the poem is? The poem tells about the destruction wrought by the wind. The first thing that we will see there in this poem, the destruction that is created by the strong wind. Secondly, we will see the wind making fun of whatever or whoever is feeble, fragile, or weak. So, whoever is feeble, whoever is fragile, or whoever is weak will be destroyed by the wind. How we can befriend it by making ourselves stronger like fire in a wood. So, the poet suggests us to be stronger enough so that the wind cannot harm us. We should be stronger like the fire in a wood that cannot be easily extinguished. Wind. The wind blows, the wind moves strongly and causes, and the wind creates a lot of destruction because when the wind is fierce, when the wind is very strong, it can cause a lot of destruction, we know. So how can we make friends with wind? So let us read the poem Wind. Come softly. The poet addresses the natural phenomena which is wind, and what he says to the wind. He says to the wind to come softly, to move softly, to blow softly, not to be so strong. And the poet is going to address wind. Wind is a non living object, and when he is talking to the non living object, he uses personification here, figure of speech. And when a personified object is addressed as he is addressing, so it is apostrophe here. Apostrophe is a figure of speech. So the poet apostrophizes wind and says the wind to blow softly, slowly. Don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. So what he says here, he says how much destruction the wind creates. He says the wind, not to break the shutters, the windows. When the wind blows fast, the shutters of the windows are broken. And when a fast wind blows here, it comes into the room, all the papers get scattered, and all the books got off the shelves and are scattered here and there. There, look what you did. And after the wind had shown its destruction, the poet says to look what the wind had wrought, what the wind had done. You threw them all down. After the wind, all the books had been thrown down here and there in that room. You tore the pages of the books, and the pages of the books are also torn apart. The pages of the books are rent. You brought rain again. And when the wind comes, mostly it happens when the strong winds come, rain is followed. So he says that the wind has brought rain there. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. And again he says that the wind is very powerful, and being powerful, wind makes fun of weak people. Poking fun, making fun. Weaklings, weak people, or whoever or whatever is weak and feeble. The poet wants to say that wind is really clever. It is very intelligent because it knows whoever or whatever is weak, and it tries to make fun of that weak thing. Frail, crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. So here he is repeating the words crumbling, and by repeating crumbling, he is emphasizing the destruction of the wind. So what he says that the wind makes fun of those things that are weak, or those human beings that are weak. Frail crumbling houses, it destroys. What the wind does, it destroys frail, weak, crumbling, that is going to destroy houses. Crumbling doors, and also crumbling doors are destroyed by the wind. Crumbling rafters, rafters are the pillars that support the roof. Crumbling wood, wood that is crumbling. Crumbling bodies of human beings, crumbling lives of living beings, crumbling hearts. So what he says that whosoever or whatsoever is weak will be destroyed by the wind, no matter it is living or non-living thing. But if it is weak, wind is going to destroy it. Wind is going to make fun of it. The wind god winnows and crushes them all. What the poet says that the wind god works as a winnower. What winnowing is? Winnowing is an action by which we separate husk or chaff from the grain. When we separate dried grass from the grain is called winnows and crushes them all. So what wind does? Wind, like a god, it separates heavy things from the light ones. It means if we are strong, we will remain there, and if we are not strong, if anything is not strong, the wind is going to sweep them away, is going to destroy them. The wind god works like a winnower and crushes them all. He won't do what you tell him because being very strong, the wind is not going to follow the advice of anyone. The wind god is not going to entertain the request of anyone. Wind is a very powerful force and it is not going to listen to anyone. The poem has got a symbolic meaning as well, the symbol of hardships in our life. And the poet says that when hardships come, when we are faced by hardships, what happens? If we are stronger, we will not be affected by it. And if the hardships come, if hurdles come in our way, and if we are weak, we will be destroyed. We will crumble before those hardships. So, if our houses are weak, or our lives are weak, our hearts are weak, the wind god is going to destroy us. But if we are stronger, the wind god is not going to destroy us. So, no hardship is going to affect us if we are stronger. So, what next it says? So, come, let us build strong homes. So, the poet suggests that we should bring strong homes so that the homes will not be destroyed. Let us join the doors firmly and we should close the doors firmly. We should stick the doors firmly to their joints so that those doors cannot be pulled open by the wind, by the force of the wind. Practice to form the body. We should practice and we should make our bodies firm because if our bodies are weak, we will be crumbling like all those weak things. Make the heart steadfast and we should make our hearts strong. So, what he says in the earlier lines, he said all those things that are subjected to be destroyed. He said in these lines that if we are going to weak, if our lives are weak, if our houses are weak, so everything is going to be perished by the wind. So, what suggestion did the poet give here? Here, in these lines, the poet gives suggestion that if the wind comes and we are strong, or symbolically, he wants to say that if there are so many hardships in front of us, and despite those hardships, if we are stronger, if we had made our houses strong, if we have made the doors strong, and if we have made ourselves stronger and steadfast and firm, then those hardships cannot destroy us. Do this, and the wind will be friend with us. He suggests us to make ourselves stronger, to make everything strong, so that those things are not affected by the wind, by the hardships, by the hurdles that come in our way. And the wind will be friends with us. If we are going to make ourselves stronger, we are not affected by those hardships. And we will make those adverse situations our friend. The wind blows out weak fire. Now the poet gives an example of the fire. He says that if we burn a lamp and we can blow out that lamp very easily. the wind blows out weak fire. The poet says that if the fire is weak, then the wind, because the wind is very powerful, it can blow out that fire. So, what should we do? We should make that fire strong. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. We should make those fires. We should make the fire stronger so that it cannot be blown out, it cannot be extinguished. So he wants to say that we should be like the fire in a forest. And when a forest is set on fire, it is not easy to destroy that fire, it is not easy to extinguish that fire. And if the wind blows, it can increase the strength of that fire. It cannot destroy or it cannot extinguish that fire, rather, it will increase the force of that fire. In this way, we should make ourselves stronger. If we are strong, so those adverse situations are our friend, they will work in our favor. His friendship is good. And in the last, he says that the friendship of wind is good. And what he wants to say, that the friendship of hardships is good. We should always think positive, always remain optimistic. We should not give in before hardships. Only this way we can make wind, or we can make those hard times our friends. We praise him every day, and we praise him every day. We praise that force every day, and we will make friends of that force only if we are stronger. And if we are not strong, we are not going to praise that thing, we are going to curse that thing, but the thing is going to destroy us, and the thing is not going to spare us. We are destroyed if we are weak. So this is really a very beautiful poem. What have we learned from that poem? What moral do we get from that poem? The poem inspires us to face challenges. It is quite clear that the poet wants to say that we should face challenges and hardships with courage, firm determination, and grit. So, we should not give in before hardships. We should make ourselves stronger so that we will not be affected by any hardships. We should show courage, we should show firm determination and grit in front of those bad times. We should always be optimistic, think positive only, showing our strength and steadfastness, firmness. We should always remain steadfast, firm, no matter what the condition is in front of us. We should be mentally tough and physically strong. So, this is the message that if we are stronger mentally or physically both, we will not be destroyed by any force. So, the poem is really good. The poem has got a good moral. And now we talk about the technique and literary devices used in the poem. So the poem is in the form of free verse. And what a free verse is a type of modern poetry in which no rhyme is there, and the length of the lines is also varied. The poet uses personification here. Personification, as we know, when non living objects are personified, are given human attributes. And when those personified objects are addressed, then it is apostrophe. So, wind is addressed here, that's why he is using apostrophe here. Poetic devices these are. And the poet uses anaphora as well. And what anaphora is, when a word is repeated in the beginning of two or more consecutive lines, anaphora takes place. For example, we can see line 2, 3, and 4. It begins with don't. And lines 6, 7, and 8 begin with you. So here anaphora takes place. And now we can also see The repetition here, as in crumbling, crumbling, the word is repeated. The word crumbling is repeated so many times. So repetition is there, and repetition takes place only because of putting force onto some idea. Now, alliteration is also there, as wind and winnows, want. And what alliteration is, alliteration is the repetition of consonant sounds. So here, sound v is repeated. That's why alliteration is also there. So we can see that the poem is beautiful, both in its sense, in its moral that it gives to us, and also technically it is superb. The poet, the poet is really successful in conveying a beautiful idea that we should make ourselves stronger so that no hardship can affect us. So I hope you have understood the poem well and grabbed the meaning of the poem and also the moral. So thank you for watching the video, and bye till my next video.